people swear life insurance is one of the best wealth building tools in the world, and others say it's one of the most oversold financial products ever created. The truth is, both sides are kind of right depending on your income or goals and the type of policy you're actually buying. So that's why in today's video, we're diving into how life insurance can potentially be used to build wealth, the difference between term life insurance and permanent life insurance, how cash value actually works, and what people mean when they talk about the infinite banking. Honestly, this can be one of the most confusing topics in personal finance because there's so much marketing around it. You see people online claiming whole life insurance is the ultimate wealth strategy, while others say it's terrible and nobody should ever buy it. But the reality is, it's much more nuanced than that. Life insurance can absolutely play a role in wealth building in certain situations. The problem is that many people buy expensive permanent policies before they even understand the basics of how these products work or who they actually make sense for. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, the first thing you need to understand is the difference between term life insurance and permanent life insurance because they work very differently. Term life insurance is the simplest form of life insurance. You pay a premium for a specific period of time, usually 10, 20, or 30 years. If you pass during that time, the policy pays the death benefit to your beneficiaries. If the term expires and you outlive it, the coverage ends unless you renew or convert the policy. That's it. There's no investment account, no cash value, and no wealth building component attached to it because term life insurance is straightforward and temporary. It's dramatically cheaper than permanent life insurance. Now, permanent life insurance includes products like whole life insurance, universal life insurance, and index universal life insurance, also called IULs. Now, these policies are designed to last your entire life as long as premiums are paid, and part of your premium goes towards building cash value inside the policy. The cash value is where the wealth building conversation even started. So instead of every dollar going purely toward the insurance cost, part of the premium gets allocated to a cash value account that grows over time. Growth is generally tax deferred, which is one reason these policies attract attention from higher income earners and financial planners. But the trade-off is price. For a healthy 35-year-old, a $500,000 term policy might cost somewhere around $300 to $600 per year. A permanent policy with similar coverage could easily cost $3,000 to $5,000 annually, or even more depending on the structure. A lot of people hear the phrase cash value and immediately think it works like a savings account or an investment account, but it's really important to understand that the mechanics are different. So with permanent life insurance, a portfolio of premium builds cash value over time inside the policy. That cash value grows tax deferred, meaning you're not paying taxes on the growth every year, the same that you potentially would in a taxable brokerage account. Over time, the cash value can become substantial depending on how long the policy has been in place, how much funding goes into it, and the type of policy structure. One of the biggest selling points of permanent life insurance is that you can borrow against the cash value through policy loans. This is where people start talking about concepts like becoming your own bank or infinite banking. Instead of applying for a traditional loan through a bank, you borrow against your life insurance policy's cash value. There's usually no traditional credit check involved, and policy loans generally are not treated as a taxable event if structured properly. Meanwhile, the policy's cash value may continue growing even while the loan exists depending on how the policy is designed. This is why some people use permanent life insurance as a source of liquidity later on in life. Policy loans still accrue interest. Mismanaging the policy can create problems, and if loans aren't handled correctly, they can potentially reduce the death benefit or even cause tax consequences later if the policy lapses. So, while the strategy can absolutely work in certain situations, it's definitely not as simple as some social media clips make it sound. Now let's get into the part that honestly gets skipped in a lot of the life insurance wealth conversations online. For most middle income earners, term life insurance plus investing, the difference, usually ends up outperforming permanent life insurance from a pure investment growth standpoint. And this is where the numbers become important. Again, let's use a healthy 35-year-old as an example. A $500,000 term policy might cost somewhere around $300 to $600 annually. A comparable permanent policy could cost $3,000 to $5,000 annually. That means the difference in annual cost could easily be somewhere between $2,400 and $4,400 every single year. Now let's talk specifically about IULs because this is one of the most heavily marketed products online right now. So again, IUL stands for Index Universal Life Insurance. Instead of offering fixed growth like traditional whole life, the cash value growth is linked to a stock market index such as the S&P 500. But this is where it can get a bit confusing. Your money is not directly invested into the stock market the same way it would be inside an index fund. Instead, the insurance company credits interest to the policy based on index performance while applying a floor and a cap. The floor is one of the biggest selling points. In many IUL policies, the floor is 0%. That means if the marketing performs negatively during a certain period, your credited growth may not go below zero. People like this because it creates downside protection, but the trade-off is the cap. Most IUL policies also limit the upside through caps that may sit somewhere around 8 to 12% depending on the policy. So if the market grows 20% in a strong year, you don't necessarily receive the full 20% growth growth inside the policy. You may only receive growth up to the cap. This creates a middle ground type of return profile. You get some downside protection, but you also give up part of the upside. Now, with all of that said, permanent life insurance absolutely can make sense in certain situations. For high income earners who have already maxed out retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs, permanent life insurance can become another tax advantaged bucket with a larger financial strategy. Business owners also sometimes use life insurance strategically for succession planning, key person protection, or corporate owned life insurance structures. Estate planning is another major area where permanent life insurance becomes useful. For example, someone with significant assets may want to guarantee death benefits to help cover estate taxes, transfer wealth efficiently, or provide liquidity to heirs. Now, this is why the people who benefit most from permanent life insurance are often people with higher incomes, more complex financial situations, or specific estate planning goals. Where people run into problems is when average earners buy expensive permanent policies before they've even built emergency savings, paid off high interest debt, or consistently invested in basic retirement accounts. That's usually backwards financially. Okay, now let's talk about the pros and cons. One of the biggest advantages of permanent life insurance is the tax-deferred cash value growth, policy loan flexibility, and lifelong coverage. For certain people, especially high earners or business owners, those benefits can become extremely valuable within a broader financial plan. The downside is cost, because permanent life insurance is dramatically more expensive than term insurance, and many people underestimate how much higher those premiums impact their ability to invest elsewhere. There's also more complexity involved. There's fees, policy structure, surrender charges, loan management, and long-term funding strategies all matter. Term life insurance, on the other hand, is simple and affordable. It gives families a large death benefit at a relatively low cost, which is why it remains the best fit for many people. And honestly, one of the smartest things that you can do with life insurance is just compare multiple options before committing to anything, especially with permanent policies, since the cost and structure can vary a lot between companies. So I have a couple different options and recommendations for you. First off is Lemonade. They're definitely a more tech-forward company, but all you have to do to check their prices is use our link down below, and then you'll answer a couple questions, make sure you select life insurance, and then you can go ahead and get a free quote from them. We also recommend State Farm. You can go ahead and just select life, go ahead and put in your state, and then go ahead and start a quote. Again, comparing options is so powerful because you have no idea what the actual cost is going to be, so definitely comparing options is going to be the best way to do it, so you can really compare from real data, not just guessing. Again, if you want to get a free quote from Lemonade or State Farm, we do have that linked. We do have those links down in the description below. I do want to mention that these are affiliate links, which means we may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. So if you do choose to use our links, we just want to thank you so much in advance for supporting our channel. It really just helps us to continue to create free content just like this. This channel is dedicated to helping you understand insurance so you can make smarter decisions for your money and your future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave any questions or comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.